like me. Open the window.
Talking because I'm a lawyer.
What happened? Did they switch?
No. Create an environment where people are focused on the work and not focused on the politics. And I have endured that. I have done well. I've been in private practice without looking back over my shoulder. I've been in private practice for now, in May, it was 10 years. I have practiced, thank you. I have practiced law for 20 years. And in my own business, which it is a pride and joy to treat people as decently as you will treat them, opposed to living a life that is just not coordinating with who you are. At a time, it's time to stop. Because if I stayed in that position, the aspirins that were on my desk, every time something happened, I thought I was having a heart attack, so I would have aspirins on my desk to ward off all the stress of not of the work, but of the politics and other things that don't allow us to continue to work. That is my journey. That is one of the reasons why I decided to become an entrepreneur. Inside of my book, Living the Wealthy Life, I have a section on creativity. And I have a section on passion. With regard to being an entrepreneur, it is the most exciting, the most passionate part of your life. You have every right to explore that in your feeling, in your heart, as to what you want to share. If you have a product, like Princess dresses many women that come through her store, the people that she has made happy and made to feel good about themselves and their bodies, as she looks through her clothing line and she says, this looks good on you. There is something about that passion that money just cannot buy. And it's something that if you have it, you must pursue. I want to thank everyone here in advance for inviting me to actually speak to you. Because the one thing Princess had shared with me was something about the financial management. Now, I know you have some financial gurus here. I'm not going to mention all the names, but you have some financial planners here. You have some financial educators here. You have insurance companies. I am not a financial advisor. So I have to always make that caveat. But I will tell you this. If you are not in tune to financial management of your business, you will be a broke entrepreneur working a job broke. So what I'm doing, and I have a friend of mine who said this to me. She said, entrepreneurs do not retire, they just die. So I said, I looked at her and I said, I'm not going to be that person. I'm going to retire if I wish to. I'm going to live the wealthy life. I'm going to follow the principles that allowed me to get to this journey to speak before this wonderful audience of 100 black women and the people that invited me here, Ms. Tomlinson and also Princess Jenkins, who introduced me to you guys, and I really do appreciate it. But the most important thing, I'll give you some of the journeys. Clients of mine don't have a dime. Many of them are filing bankruptcies. And I joke with my clients. They know I have a sense of humor. I'm not saying that you cannot take advantage of every opportunity that the law does not allow. But what I say to them, it strikes me strange that when they're filing, they don't have a lot of money. There are no IRAs. There are no savings. And a lot of my clients, many of them are using bankruptcy as a last resort. We have women, when I worked for the United States Small Business Administration, I saw this gentleman that I visited who was a tailor at his shop. And I was one of the advocates for the business people. And when I went to his shop, just like the blackout was here, his shop was blacked out. This poor man had the sun coming through his window and was trying to sew. He was an entrepreneur that when we asked him for where are your bills, they were in a shoebox. So we have entrepreneurs that are struggling entrepreneurs, and the purpose of what they asked me to speak about was financial management for entrepreneurs. That some of us may not have health insurance who are entrepreneurs. Some of us may not have life insurance as entrepreneurs. So we always ask that question, why did you become an entrepreneur in the first place? One of the reasons I'm assuming if you want to be an entrepreneur is that you want to make money. I would think, no?
Yes.
You don't want to quit a job for 6 figures and end up broke. You'll always question yourself. Why did you do that? So part of it, and some people don't like me talking about money like this, but I say to you, part of why you became an entrepreneur is so you can surpass your salary, not to work yourself to death.
Yes.
Which I know there are numerous entrepreneurs that are working themselves to death. So I heard Princess say in her seminar about working 16 hours. That's something that at some point in time, that's not what you bargained for. Sorry about that. That's not what you bargained for. You wanted to become an entrepreneur so you can make enough money so you can live 4 times, I believe, the wealthy. Okay?
6, 5.
Thank you very much. That means you're paying attention. Or you have people who are out there that get to the end of a retirement age because at some point you can't keep working yourself to death. And at some point I say to myself every day, I didn't become an entrepreneur, I didn't become a business owner to be a broke business owner. And sometimes I'll tell you why we get to that point. We don't examine why we're an entrepreneur. We have to go back. Sometimes we have to go back to why we left our jobs. Well, one of the reasons I left my job was because I wanted to do something different. But at a high salary, I was taxed very high. So I was getting a little bit annoyed that even though I made that type of salary, I was taxed so high that I was only keeping half of it. So now you have those issues. When you're an entrepreneur, you have tax deduction. It works the other way. Your expenses come off your gross. And then what's left is your profit. So you can look at your tax situations a little bit different, and you can keep more of your money when you're an entrepreneur. So what I'm saying to you is one of the things that I looked at was, what do we do to financially better manage our businesses? Well, one of the things I can tell you, when you start a small business, you can't say whoop-de-doo and start, when you get a little profit, start buying your Lexus and all the other great things. You can, but part of your entrepreneurship means that you have to reinvest it back into your company.
Mm-hmm. Sorry.
She beats that overhead with me all the time. So that means that if you have a profit, and if you have a decent profit, then opposed to going out saying, whoop-de-doo, I have all this money, you may want to consider, because it's important to keep building your business. So, for example, I'm doing doing this because part of it is it's building my business. Part of what I'm doing in public speaking is creating another business. So the profits I have from a law firm has allowed me to launch a book firm or a book called Living the Wealthy Life. So the most important thing for entrepreneurs is understanding that it's okay to make a profit. You're not a not-for-profit. Those of you who want to be a not-for-profit, that is okay. But it's nothing wrong with you wanting to make money and keep the money that you make. So you may have to make decisions in your business, which means that you may not be able to hire, and you may have to let people go and fire. If you see that your profits are dwindling and you believe and feel that you need to keep these excess individuals, then you're not in business. That is basically somewhat, I won't say charity, you said I'm hard, but it's about business. It is about what you're there to do. You're there to survive. You're there to make a profit. And you're there to live a better life. And I say that out of experience, knowing that I have clients. I was at the Marriott. This is very interesting. I was at the Marriott having lunch during a court appearance. And I saw a lawyer sitting in the restaurant downstairs. And she was scurried and very rushed. And the one thing we were talking about was money. Now, what she said was that it's hard for her to meet payroll. So I asked her, did you have any type of retirement plan? I asked her, we were talking across the table. I asked her, did you have money saved? I asked her, did you take care of you? Okay? Because that's part of what we need to do. We have to take money and make sure that we are secured, because we don't have retirement plans unless you make them as an entrepreneur. You will not have life insurance. There's no job paying you for this anymore. So you have to make sure that in your business you create a financial management plan personally for yourself. Or you will find that you are working hard, but you're working in vain. So the lady, I said, well, can you possibly pull out $500 to $1,000 a month to put that aside? Because at 42, if you multiply that out, that is a significant amount of money if you want to retire or do something else at 65. But you have to make the commitment to take care of yourself. And that's part of you managing your business. Financial management also means that you have to have a plan. And the reason why entrepreneurs go astray and don't have any money and are broke, many of them, and can't survive the first 5 years in their business is because they don't have a plan. Now, it's not just about having a business plan. That's not it. You can have a nice